Happy Monday to you all. I hope you had a great weekend. Thanks for giving me 5 to 7 minutes for our devotions this morning. We're going to continue this week our studies on the miracles of Jesus. We're going to be in Matthew chapter 17, verses 24 and 25. So I'll give you a second to get to Matthew 17. And as you turn there, I'm going to give us a quick reminder because it's been a few days since we've been together, the miracles of Jesus. A miracle is a divine act by which God reveals himself to the people. It's an act that is contradictory or transcends a natural law. In the Bible, it's called a miracle. It's also called a sign. It's also called a wonder. Finally, Jesus used the miracles to introduce that he is bringing God's kingdom to the people, that salvation is here, that the miracles point to Jesus' divine nature, that Jesus is from God. So hopefully by now you're in Matthew chapter 17, verses 24 and 25. Confession for you on a Monday morning. I get really excited when I walk through the parking lot and I find money. I get excited when I find a penny. I couldn't imagine what my response would be if I were walking through the parking lot and I found 2 days of pay in the parking lot. My first response would be I would look around and see if it's a hidden camera or America's Funniest Home Videos or if it's a prank or a joke. But this is what Peter's going to find and experience this morning. It's not going to be a prank. It's not going to be a joke. He's not on TV. He has just experienced another miracle by Jesus. So this morning, as I set up Matthew chapter 17, I hope that I give you the instructions, and then you're going to be able to go and understand what Jesus is doing. So let's go ahead. This is a miracle of the coin in the fish's mouth. Jesus is quickly approaching his crucifixion, and when he approaches his crucifixion, we know that 3 days later is his resurrection. We have 3 chapters until it's Palm Sunday or the triumphal entry. So we know that it is on the later half of Jesus' life and his earthly ministry. During this time, the people are looking for a reason to arrest Jesus. They're looking for a reason not to follow him. They're looking for a reason to defame his name and his ministry. Now, during this time, Jesus is moving around. He is not hiding from the people. He's not trying to avoid paying the tax that we're going to talk about. It's a great reminder that Jesus did not have a building that people came to Jesus. Jesus went to the people and he was going out and sharing his ministry. He was going out and sharing his message that God's salvation is here and it's within him. So he is out moving around and he does spend some time in Peter's home. We'll get into that in a minute. With this miracle, there's a problem, if you will, that there's a tax being collected, and it's the temple tax. Why would they be having a temple tax? Well, they would tax the people to help upkeep the building. There's brick and there's mortar and there's things that need to be replaced, and it's just wear and tear in the building. Second of all, they would need to collect taxes for furnishing the buildings, for getting the animals, for the oils, for the instruments, for the sacrifices. They would have taxes to help meet the priest's needs as well. So they would collect a tax that was a half a shekel, and they would collect it about once a year, and it was equivalent to about 2 days of pay. Now the tax collector approached Peter. Notice when you read it, he approached Peter. He did not approach Jesus. Well, why did he approach Peter and why did he not approach Jesus? We're not really sure. A couple of theories is that perhaps the tax collector, that he was intimidated by Jesus, or he was afraid to talk to Jesus, so he went to Peter. Other theory is that the tax collector knew that Jesus didn't have a home and that Jesus would spend time when he was in the area at Peter's home, so the tax collector knew where to find Jesus, and he wouldn't go to Jesus because Jesus didn't own the home. He would go to the homeowner, who was Peter. So either way, the tax collector, he goes to Peter. Now Jesus, he hears that the tax collector is here, and he has an interesting response. And Jesus did not have to pay the tax because Jesus was God's son. And as a child of God, he was free from the tax that was being collected. But Jesus decided to pay the taxes. He decided to pay the 2 days' wages that was due to the temple. Why would he do that? Well, Jesus paid the tax because he wanted to encourage the people to be a good citizen. He didn't want to give the people an opportunity to rebel and to use Jesus as a model or an excuse to rebel and not pay taxes, because the people are following Jesus. And if Jesus doesn't pay the taxes, their response would be, well, Jesus doesn't pay the tax, so why do I need to pay the tax? I'm not paying taxes. And then the people are not being good citizens. Jesus wants to be a good citizen, therefore he pays the taxes. The miracle proved a couple of things. The miracle proved that Jesus was the Son of God. The miracle proved that he was omniscient. That means that Jesus was all-knowing and that Jesus was all-powerful. Peter was going to go out fishing, and the first fish that Peter caught was going to have enough pay for Jesus and for Peter to cover the taxes. That's not a coincidence. That is the hand of Jesus at work, working this miracle. That Jesus knew the fish would be there, that the fish would bite, and that somehow Jesus put the coins into the fish's mouth that Peter would be able to get to pay the tax. The point of the miracle was also to prove that Jesus was not from this world, that he was from another kingdom. And then the final thing is that Jesus was not willing to rebel against the taxes because Jesus had a greater perspective. Jesus had a greater purpose on being here at the earth during his earthly ministry, because his point was not to cause rebellion against the government and not to pay taxes. The point was Jesus came to pay for the sins of the world, and his divine nature was not of rebellion. It was to satisfy God's sacrifice so that we can have the right relationship with him. Jesus kept his eye on the cross, and he didn't lose perspective during this time when someone said you need to pay your taxes. So the question of application I have this morning is this: is my perspective on the here and now, or is it on eternity? Sometimes my perspective will help me navigate the earthly versus the eternal situations that I find myself in. So on a Monday morning, as you reflect on your weekend and as you anticipate this week, the question I have for you is, where is your perspective? Is it on the here and now, or is it on eternity and the things to come with Jesus? If I can help you at all during this time, during this week or throughout today, please let me know. Thanks for those that have commented. It's always good to see a comment. I hope you have a great Monday, and I hope that you continue to grow in your relationship with Jesus. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great day.